kind of non-committally start fights. Varus also does that. I don't think it's quite as good as the Ash Arrow, but that is going to be the lock-in here.
This is very curious. I think T1 have a really well-rounded composition. Still very magic heavy.
Yeah,
from like everywhere. So I'm interested to see whether like Gideon's just going to be immortal later in the game.
It's also the hard engage on this comp is pretty lacking. Like looking at what they have, there is so much range, because I assume this will be Lethality, Varus, Jace, and Azir on the team. And engaging onto the T1 comp, or the NONGSHIM comp, is really hard. There's Poppy, there's Azir, there's Alistar.
Just win. It's a big gamble. Let's jump into the Rift for game number 1. All right, here we are, ladies and gentlemen, onto the Rift for game number 1 of week 3 of LCK 2025.
But there is also not really a great way to reliably lock down Smash as Lahans and Gideon.
Right. Yep, they're looking for an angle here, as Smash could be the target. There's the headbutt, double pulverized from Lahans, as Gio just not really able to do anything because Ona's making his way forward. He picks up a Poppy and looks to see whether he can get rid of him, and there is first blood, and it goes to the Zeri. Flash forward here from Ona. They are not done yet. But actually they are, because NONGSHIM will make it to their turret still. The push is going to continue, and T1, yeah, this is angry T1.
That was definitely very optimistic. I maybe thought with the slow that they could force Gio's flash. I think killing him there is always out of the question, or maybe Lahans. But the counter gank diving there was really, really clean. A bit of a hard force there from NONGSHIM, right? You are still in a very long lane, so actually getting on top of the target there was something against Lulu, and against a Zeri is always hard. Smash also has Ghost, so between Ghost and Heal, even with the double knock-up, not quite going to be in range. Just another attempt at the play.
We're going for it one more time. That's another double pulverize, getting the flash this time out of Smash.
That's good. Good play.
Yeah, well played.
Gio has not been hitting these arrows, as Doran might be in trouble again.
Yeah, it doesn't have flash this time around, so he's just going to get booped around like a ragdoll, and Gideon going to help Kingen grab his first kill of the game. Making his way in, though, as Doran kind of giving it away. Misses the last needlework there, as we can see. So Kingen...
missing Kingen.
All right, he's feeling pretty safe. Does have the flash, elects not to use it, as he does then jump over, but the seismic shove comes in, and of course, he is just going to die.
He definitely could have helped. The moment you see that Talia wall, you're not getting out. Does Gideon just kill him?
He might. He's at least going to try. Let's see how this one goes. Yeah, okay. Good side steps. Zona's going to turn up, and Gideon has to flash.
It's now going to be fought over.
Yeah, Ona is at least going to be able to take one of them, so that is Void Mites activated here for T1. I believe Gideon will be able to at least steal one of them away, as they do go for a bit of a reset.
Ona might be
just
looking.
Being some artillery here.
Yeah, to just cheekily smite one away, but no, not gonna. Maybe thinking about it. Even a single smite going to 5 would be nice. Not a necessity, but it looks like they want to try and go for that.
Yeah, smite actually going to be invested. Hex flash out from Gideon. Ona just barely unable to counter that, and 5-1 in Grub's going to be the thing here, as Gio going to have to flash. As Faker with a really nice...
I had no idea that she was aware, but you know,
she knows all.
Very cute.
Have you heard of omnipotence? That's what Jisun has.
Yeah, that doesn't surprise me. Nope. She is also always in our heads telling us what's going on. As the first dragon of the game taken, lands?
Yeah, Faker going to look for him here as he holds the seismic shove for a really long time. Gets turned into a little snowman, which is adorable, and keeps his cool. Holds onto the flash.
That's
Faker
big.
Takes a... big Q there from Gio at the same time, as Doran going for it once again. That last needlework not quite going to connect, as Faker is everywhere, but Calyx is still going to kill this turret no matter what he does. Let's see whether Faker can finish him off. The answer is no, because there is a Sun Disc.
It's a really big deal. Look at the zone control to come through here, but there's no Leandris yet on Calyx, so he doesn't really bother Owner too much.
Yep, and you've got Gio now positioned in the mid lane. Doran on a flank angle, as the rest of NONGSHIM just going to move down to welcome him to this fight. It might give Ona a bit of an angle here, as Shock Blast will be avoided. The rest of T1 just not wanting to overextend. The ebb and flow here as Calyx looks for a flank angle. He is spotted, and remember, there are rocks, so he can't just use that shifting sands with impunity. Gio now continuing to get some control here as Smash comes down to collect the wave. And NONGSHIM still holding on to this one, but it should be a 50-50 as he just gets rid of him. And that is just going to be a bit of a burst onto this Rift Herald, as there it is, it's stolen by Owner. Not going to be able to pick up this Azir with the Impale, and now Giu comes on over Carrier. Gonna have to get himself out of there as Lahan does have the ulti, and back in he goes! Oh! Smash gets taken by this Azir, but it's still feats of strength going over to T1. Gideon in a lot of trouble as well as Kingin. Gonna have to try and get out of there, but Faker, there is no way out for the Jace. And now Owner is running from Calyx, but he's got a blast cone, and Faker says, get out! Here's a wall, and step behind it, and they do so.
And then,
Giu's just dead. Faker is just going to murder him underneath his own turret.
We don't even get Lahen's.
Okay. He's looking for some sort of angle here, as it's Carrier that he's elected to try and kill. He gets thrown back, though.
No flash.
Oh, Kingin, yeah, he comes on over, but they're not going to risk it because they don't know where Owner is, and we know that Owner was just on his way.
We didn't even get to see my favorite part of the fight, which was Calyx actually holding his ult until the end, then using it, and then Gideon getting the wall slam into the ult, which I always like to see. But I think T1, they were able to get the Herald. They're looking to set up Dragon, and the play itself was fine, but it's the run-off effects of this kill on Giu that, oh my guy.
Yeah, what are we doing?
Yeah, just walked up to cue the cannon. Giu's struggles, unfortunately, do truly continue.
And Lahen's going to have his back stopped, and maybe he is just dead. He does have his ultimate, so it might be that one that needs to be pressed first, but he doesn't even want to do that. Could be in trouble. There is no turret here.
I assume he has it at least with that TP angle, but not putting it down just yet. And yeah, Lahen's dying. He's gonna go and make his way over, but Smash
taking a lot of damage. Yeah, exactly right. Otacon is going to soften them up here, as we know.
Yeah,
T1, they're going to back away.
Calyx just finished the ult. Calyx.
All right, playing with fire here a little bit as NONGSHIM assume that it's their turn to go for this one. They have so much vision around this area, and now with the Liandry's, they have a lot of DPS to try and take this one down as well. No vision given over, as
Gideon has his ult.
A teleport coming in from the Gwen as Lahan gets on top of Smash. The heroic charge comes down, and that is a piercing arrow to execute the Zeri. They're now losing so much of their DPS in this fight, as now Kingin positions behind his team, and we're flipping. We are going to land the Chains of Corruption, and there goes the jungler in support. They'll take the voracious Otacon. Calyx grabs his second against Doran, and NONGSHIM destroy the team fight. I mean, this is better than I expected, to be honest, as there's an Impale. Maybe it's going worse, as Gideon's going to have to flash to get out of the way of that one. Activating Hex Splash, maybe a positive. Now Doran gets into the mist. I don't know about this one, as they evict the jungler, and Gideon is just going to say that is time for us to take the outer turret.
Range issues is something we're going to keep going back to, but NONGSHIM, as well as they've played so far, I don't think have been the most calculating. You know, that's just not really who they are. So I could see a scenario where they don't really use the range to the maximum potential, just kind of run in. But they do get the dragon, and that's a really big deal.
Yep. I think the thing that's impressed me the most is how they've shut
far in spring is, Giu.
This is looking somewhat oppressive if you were to ask Giu his opinion. He does flash away and has the barrier there as well. Headbutt Pulverize onto Owner, but he is looking mighty tanky right now, as Smash looking a bit worse for wear. Lahen's presses his ultimate button and has to flash away, and that is a lot invested just to get their cow out of the slaughter.
Into this at all. Yep. Don't see any pings. It's a T1 Baron! And they're getting T1'd!
Oh, look at all of the vision that they avoided.
It's gone!
It's just gone. It's just gone. They are masterminds. They are using T1 strategies against them. Now they're going to get the idea of what's going on, but there goes the Baron, and Lahan says, Owner, get the heck out of here. They might lose their Alistair, but I don't think they're too worried about that one. It's goodbye, Gwen. And the Impale is going to skewer him, but I mean, you can eat a kebab, but you're not going to win this game.
We talked a lot about Faker. I think this game he has been having a great impact on Salia. A lot of impact in side lanes, looking a lot cleaner.
They're getting engaged on. There's a free double pulverize there as Doran pulls himself over. Seismic Shove doesn't get Gideon over the wall as he flashes away. Some knockups coming on through here as Smash has already grabbed a kill, and Owner, he comes on in, but Lahen's has got an unbreakable will, and he's basically immortal. Kingin gonna take down the Scorpion and gets rid of Smash. Still still they're able to take down this Jason. Every kill that T1 gets is worth so much more because they're getting rid of the Baron.
was actually looking for more there.
Whoa! G, what are we doing? We are baiting out the enemy team as they push Owner in. Billy's looking for Jew, and maybe this is why Jew is playing like a plastic bag for the early game, to set up for the greatest bait of all time.
Well, he fooled us, so of course he also fools T1.
All right, well, Calyx has got out of there and in there at the same time. Still,
a second Infernal Drake happens.
Yeah, second Infernal going to go over to NONGSHIM. I want to just consult the gold lead just for a moment. It's only 2,000. At 30 minutes into the game, that means the rest of NONGSHIM, they're going to move on over. There is a Scry's Orb just to make sure that they're not taking this Baron down. And Calyx and Gideon take that as an invitation. Lahens, he could be the target. He does have to use the ult to get out of the Impale. Flick back there as well as they are committing to this Baron. Doran's getting over there, but I don't know whether they're going to be able to do this in time as Owner is relatively low and they're still on this Baron. Owner is going to have to flash out, but there goes Calyx, and it's Smash that's being the hero. The Baron will be locked down by NONGSHIM, and now they really want to get out of there. All that wild growth from Carrier says no to King, and Jiu's on the wrong side of the map. Gideon, the last Baron left standing as he's going to get the flick. There goes the kill, and T1 right back in the driver's seat. Ah! Okay.
Not even close, Atlas.
Yeah,
this was.
Yeah. They were in control the whole time.
All along. There was no worry whatsoever.
Nope.
I did not expect the Infinity Edge power spike to be that big a deal. As they do not.
Well, actually tanking a little bit.
It's too much.
I don't think Calyx is going to be able to kill this minion wave.
Well, you will.
And they got 5 grubs.
There's the next one, right? The next one is Konga in. That's just it.
Yep. They're just going to be able to execute these turrets. Down goes the Nexus as well, and T1 just ripped victory from the jaws of defeat in game 1. Many moons ago as Carrier diving towards his Nico of old. This is a champion that he's found a lot of success on in the past, but it was often in Kalista lanes. So he would often have a whole lot of extra pizzazz to play around post 6. And we'll see whether he's going to be just as deadly with MF at his side.
These setups, kind of crazy. Love Zinzo Galio. That one is a classic for a reason.
I am very worried about Pop Blossom being picked into Sylas.
Yeah, okay, so, well, Sylas already had like 50 worlds.
Yeah, fair enough.
I'm with
Absolutely
you,
fine, but they looked fine in game number 1 as well. We'll see whether T1 can close this one out or whether NONGSHIM are bringing us to 3. Double Poros, what does it mean? It's both teams making their way out onto the rift. It is blue side for NONGSHIM this time. As T1 setting up the defense. And Jiu moving down with Lahens as they do clear out this ward. Does go wide.
Imagine how to trade. I was about to say, if he hits the chain.
Yeah, and he does. That's the solo! And the flash down for Doran.
Mostly paying his attention towards the bot lane as.
Oh, God.
It's no flash.
It's gone from bad to worse, ladies and gentlemen, as Doran's level 3, and he's just dead. Gideon, was that like a level up? Or no, he got the trap.
Like, the chain is basically just not on cooldown.
Oh, God. If he lands another chain, and it could be all over, as Owner is coming on up, and Kingen not overextending. Oh, unless he is. Yeah, he is. He's just going to get executed. Owner comes in and takes that one as a freebie. Maybe a bit of an overextension there from good old
Nicely
King.
done. Means that, again, Kingen's still ahead. I still think this matchup is looking roughest. Woo!
Flash traded here in the mid lane as Calyx tidies up the minion wave. Gets some priority there as well as Gideon takes the first grub out of the first set. Q not going to get doubled up on here in this top lane as we do have the swap occurring. And Gideon should be able to lock down the remaining grub here. So that is first feat of strength of the Warfare variety there coming on through from Carrier as Doran with the Gnar just flashes on top of Kingen. Can he get the ult off? The answer is yes, as Doran's tanking it up and will go down. A 1-for-1 under the bottom out of turret.
Sure, eventually RYZE, as we all know, will become a turret as Kingen.
I've seen this one before, as in the meantime we've got some grubs taken as well. Teleport back in from FAKER, but it should be the first grub being taken at least. It's the rest of T1 wanting to fight for this. 3 versus 3, but it's a flanking Lahens. And Calix is lying in wait as well. So 5 grubs going to be the answer. The arrow goes entirely wide as there is a Cocoon to interrupt the bullet time. Ona now getting a bit of a heal as the knockup comes through with the Pop Blossom. Still the heroic charge not going to be enough, and Carrier will be the answering kill. Calix grabs that one, and there's a Justice Punch onto Faker. Lahen's looking for a little bit more as they want to take the Realm Warp out as the taunt doesn't work. And Faker gets everyone to safety. Apart from, unfortunately, Carrier, who died earlier.
I'm not sure. I have to see the replay. Either Calix's taunt was a split second too late, or Owner cancelled it with Q.
I know the taunt went off, but Faker wasn't in it.
Got you, okay.
It just taunted other people and not the RYZE.
They probably all died. And
yeah.
The game is looking very differently. Instead, it is still 6, like NONGSHIM still won that, right? 6 reps for them. They end up getting the Dragon as a...
With spot. Lahen's going to turn up though, and they're looking to play aggressively. They will get the cleanse out of Smash immediately. Cocoon going to land there as well as Juice just walking at him. Frost shot going to connect. The volley's going to land as well, and there is nothing they could do about it. That's a huge knock from Kingen, who's just diving the turret. Ulti going to miss as Kingen will go down in the 1v1, but Ona now will find Gideon, and that's going to even it out for T1. They'll take a little bit more. Wind becomes lightning. There's a nice little heal there from Gideon as he's just fighting as best he can, but the damage is going to be there from Ona. Carrier now pushed underneath his turret as Calix and Faker, they need to do something exciting as well because there is crazy stuff happening all over the map.
Up as, it doesn't spot.
Yeah, all right. We'll see whether Kingen's going to be able to ward them off.
Tough.
He really wants someone to pick up turret aggro before he throws out the ulti, but there's Smash with an ulti of his own. He finds it.
Chains!
As Smash gonna have to flash for it, and he does pick up the kill. I don't think he had to flash for it. Maybe that I said that wrong. However, he did flash for it, and it did result in a kill. Still, outer turret falls on the top side of the map. T1 going to be able to grab the outer on the bottom side, but if this inner turret goes down, NONGSHIM are going to win out on the play. Still, they're able to defend, and Gideon is able to take the Rift Herald as Lahen's taking a lot of damage. Teleport in from Faker is going to get him towards this top side. There goes the Spider, squished like a bug. But still, it is the Galio being able to make it out relatively safe. I say safe, as they do get the taunt onto Faker here. Pop Blossom comes out from Carrier, who was pretending to be Owner there as the arrow is going to connect. Now Faker's in trouble, and Gideon, with the ulti running, is seeing what he can get done here. There's Kingen to lock down the first one. Chains land onto Owner. Smash taken down as well. Kingen, an absolute monster on this Sylas. And Doran cannot catch up here as Carrier going down exceptionally low, or at least looking like he did as he was transformed. Still, Calix is going to fall, and Doran looking to try and get out. Wind just barely not becoming lightning there. And Kingen, you can see, just desperately wanting to get another one, but isn't able.
The fact that Carrier doesn't die is a big deal, as now we're not done fighting.
Yeah, Ona lying in wait. We've got a Rift Herald coming down as well, as it is going to be Gideon controlling the ulti, controlling the dragon, sorry. Now they're going to have to possibly get themselves out of here. Let's see whether they can. It's Pop Blossom from Kingen going to come on through. Down goes Doran before he can do anything at all. And T1, I think it's probably just time to cut your losses and get out of there. Lahen's is looking juicy, but I don't think T1 are going to be able to do too much more. Just controlling the mid lane as best they can. Cocoon going to land. Lahen's, I don't know about this. Gideon also very, very low. As the Hawk Shot coming on through, and we've got some backs being channeled.
Right. Number 1.
We are just starting the Otacon.
I don't love this.
No, neither do I. It's a little bit scary.
Do this a good amount of times. Oh, he does get the cancel in the back. That is nice. Means Faker, but comeback, he's still at 2 items. So is it just gone?
Well, it's down to 4,000 health. They're focusing it, and yeah, I don't know whether Owner's going to be able to get it here. He does, and he steals it away. Highway robbery here from T1 is now Gideon gets the, Kingen gets the flash in. They take down the Nico immediately. There's the knockup onto Faker. He is completely taken out. And now Lahen's, he will be taken by Doran, but Faker is still in trouble, and there is the taunt to finish him off. Doran goes down as Chiu gets his hands on this Gnar, and over the wall comes Calix, or at least he tries to. Not going to be able to there, and they'll settle for a kill under the misfortune. Only Owner left standing. How many of these petals will they actually able to pick up, though? That's the big question, as there are a lot of them strewn all around the place, and the third Drake...
I'm pretty sure is also, or was also, at exactly 26.
All right. So not exactly end of the world, as in comes Owner, and they are just going to kill Lahen's. He does repel, gets onto a Mega Blast, going to never mind. They don't kill Lahen's, they try to kill Lahen's. And Lehen says no. As there's a taunt on to Carrier here, who's dead. That's a colossal smash to the noggin, and instead of Lahen's being dead, it's Carrier who's dead. Yeah, they're not getting the dragon value that the other can't
grub
provide.
value. There's no epic objectives. Now Owner can just steal Nash, and then they get...
Ah, right. Yeah, that's actually a really good game plan. Mind control them into taking the Baron. It's Lahen
working.
Possibly in trouble. Smash could be in the wrong spot now, though, as Faker is realm warped in. Gideon engages on top of him. The rest of T1 a little bit too far away, though. And down goes the jungler. Arrow also going to narrowly be hopped here by Doran. And Kingen is in the mid lane, just defending here at the same time. Yeah, there's no smite here anymore. Owner cannot smite when he's dead, ladies and gentlemen. This is what I'm discovering.
That was the game plan!
Oh god, Kingen also has a Nara ultimate here. It's going to be really dangerous if T1 go for a counter engage. So the Baron is just gone. The bullet time is an attempt, but it's a failure. And the first Baron once
not
again
able to actually show up to the fight, not having the pop loss.
Oh, Owner thinks that he's found an angle, but instead it's Lahen's that cocoons him up. The rest of T1 are turning up, but Gideon is ignoring them. When becomes lightning, Owner is going to get taken down so incredibly low as Kingen finds an ulti, Jiu finds an arrow. He knocks it, he takes down Bristle and Sejuani. And now T1 looking to try and defend their inner turret, but these are Baroned up minions. These are 6 grubs, and NONGSHIM are having none of it.
Atlas, by any chance, have you looked at your hands recently?
Yes. Oh man, it's quite moist. I'm not gonna lie, there is game all over these hands, Chronicler.
Well, it doesn't have to be wet. It could just be game.
It is though. It's really warm in here.
Against Hanwha Life, where Owner was the only one that looked okay, and then eventually even he went down.
Oh god, Faker taking so much damage here. That's 3 damage items here for Calyx as he realm warps his way out. The fake smash moves in, which terrified me, I'm not gonna lie. Thankfully there is the Nico hue on the champion.
The Baron perfectly ends up setting up for the Kentek Soul.
Yeah.
NONGSHIM might have actually done it this time around, Atlas.
Well, you say that, and you also often say that curses aren't real,
They're
but
not.
I want you to be able to worry about that too much. And T1, they know that they need to fight for this one. In goes Gideon, just deciding to start off the fight. I don't know about that one, as the ulti does come on through, and he does stay alive. But he's going down relatively low. Kingen on a flank angle finds an R ulti once again. He's been so good with these. I think mainly because he likes playing Gnar, and so he's pretty good at it in general. Doran has a Gnar in perfect position, though, as Calyx gets engaged on. He just goes into his Zhonya's, though. That's going to buy a lot of time here as they take the Soul, and Chemtech Soul is going to help them so much. Look at these health bars already prepared as the Pop Blossom does nothing, but the Gnar does everything from King, and bullet time is just going to get immuned by the 2 members of NONGSHIM, and the Realm Warp does work, but it just tries to buy time. It just tries to get them out of there, and T1 is still going to die. And we are then going to go to 3 games. Here we are, NONGSHIM. They find the angle here in game 2.
NONGSHIM got close in game 1, but it wasn't quite enough. The Baron ended up being their downfall. That start of the fight with Gideon getting chunked, I was worried, but I needn't be, as NONGSHIM knocking down the Nexus.
And maybe there is an ego pick angle. The GP into Sion from Kingen is certainly looking at that, but also it fits. You know, you've got like a lot of these globals and things like that playing for side lanes with the Nocturne on top of the fact that you have the Cannon Barrage is really going to skew things if they are going to be playing for the late game. Not to mention Killer Instinct from the Kaiser as well.
So the T1 comp looks amazing if you can get past the first 20-odd minutes, right? Once you hit 2 items on Victor, once you hit 2 items on the Jinx, you're going to be feeling great.
A lot of side laning power. 2 very different styles clashing here in game 3. All right, here we are. Onto the Rift for game number 3, the decider between T1 and NONGSHIM. And for those that are watching this as a T1 fan, you're like, wow, NONGSHIM are playing them really close. I'm really disappointed. All that interactive. I feel like Talia is like the more interactive and fun version of Lissandra.
Yeah, Lissandra to me is just when she's good and her laning phase, her weak laning phase can be kind of negated. It's Smite Fight.
Yep, gonna be secured here by Gideon. Nicely done. Takes away the first one. The rest of NONGSHIM are grouped up, but you can see Smash and Carrier moving on down. And that should be able to secure the remaining 2 grubs, but denying the feat of strength, going to be nice here for Gideon. And wanting to just get the experience, right? The rush to level 6, obviously the thing for the Nocturne, as Lehen's able to get himself out, but will get licked for his trouble.
There is that engage.
I think that that does make some sense. He will be very deadly when it comes to, you know, following up on any sort of skirmish. NONGSHIM always need to be careful of the follow-up. Speaking of follow-up, Cannon Barrage coming in immediately as there's the Devour used, but the knockoff keeps them in place. First Blood goes over to the Nocturne. The Flame Chompers with the massive value as it's not quite out, but Calyx comes in. Spirit rushes in, Spirit rushes out, and then dies. Faker going to be able to pick that one up. 2 for 1 in the end, but you'll take that if you're NONGSHIM as they eviscerate the bottom lane.
That's
a shield by the looks of things. And NONGSHIM going to lose 5 grubs this game. As T1, with all of that control that they had on that top side, is going to reward them with these grubs.
The mid game thus far not looking the way I think NONGSHIM is looking towards. Gideon made it great impact with his first ult. Going to be looking kind of run the fights later on.
Ooh, Carrier face checking Gideon here. He will get a little bit frightened, as we can see. Lehen's turning up as well as the quickness comes down. They do manage to get a charm, but the rest of T1, they're turning up faster, and there's the teleport in as well from the Scion. Flame Chompers will be eaten, and so is Lehen's. As Ono looking to come on over, gets that transformation as the Viego, of course. And Gideon now underneath the turret, but I don't know whether he's out of dodge just yet. Jew is there.
Very costly. No one is matching King, and right now Faker's on his way, but we'll see if this works.
Yeah, Cannonbra. Oh, right on the edge of the queue, and down goes the Nocturne in the blink of an eye. Ono now gets a turn to be the spooky Nocturne. And so, yes, Kingin did get a little bit of spare time, but Faker did just waddle his way up there.
Gideon looking for an ult again.
Yeah, and there it is. Once again, it's the paranoia to come on out. They get the knock up there as well as the Jinx is very healthy, and there is the triple knock-up from Carrier. Ona turns up as well, but the barrels explode for a lot of damage, and Lehen's going to need to try and get himself out, does so.
Ideally for grabs as well, that's going to be feats going over to T1.
Yeah, so turret going to be secured. Upgraded shoes coming on in there. As Lehen's, you can see, really wanting to find an angle. They dive onto Carrier, who does have the grey health, eats it, and still goes down. The train is going to land. Massive double knock-up. Super Mega Death Rocket comes in, but Smash is going to get CC'd by Lehen's. One more auto required, but look at this. T1, they just say, we've got a train, and we will just run you over. No! And you cannot even get it. Oh, no. That is insult meeting injury. That is an ace, and T1 take full control. Just stomps NONGSHIM. I think next best is NONGSHIM plays up to T1, and T1 is still able to put them down.
Seen a lot of GPs. Oh no, not a miss. Oh, it's a bait!
Yeah, it is. And Faker goes down exceptionally fast here as well as Kingin. Gonna have to eat some oranges, but Faker is actually gonna stay alive. Teleport comes in from Calyx as the zap will protect the president. Now that is an immediate charm onto Doran, but he's a brick wall, and they're not gonna be able to get in there.
Things are not looking too hot for NONGSHIM. Even though, again, I think there are comps of their element that scale well. There is the Kai'Sa, which eventually does get to the point where if you can get access to Jinx and Kench isn't near, you can blow her up.
Oh, Kingin's found Doran. Kinda. Well, actually, he's taken real damage. In comes a Kai'Sa to try and help out as well as the barrels are connecting. He just wants to get to a good position, but doesn't have the ulti anymore. As the knock-up comes down, but he is still going to die, ladies and gentlemen. The trial is by fire, and he has not passed. So the Scion is killable. It just requires sort of everyone and a whole bunch of time. And
they have to be a little careful here.
Away, yeah. Lehen's going to get engaged on, and there's the chain CC. The Rakan nowhere to go, although does at least manage to get an ability off, but that is going to be Ona securing the kill. Turns into a Rakan of himself, and will be able to now look for the Otacon, as this outer turret does fall, but the Otacon will do the same thing, and this is going to give them a whole lot more as well, as all of these blood petals come on through. They get all the experience and all of the extra damage.
Yeah,
it's a rough one for NONGSHIM.
NONGSHIM going for the classic, well, I guess we cross-map, because we kind of have to. This is gone. There's no way for them to really contest.
Ooh, nice sidestep there from Faker. He's going to be able to avoid barrel damage.
Yeah, we're looking at, you know, Hail Mary barrel, not the player. the ability.
Do that as well. As Kingin, he's going to try and go for it once again. As
Passive does a lot of damage.
Doran not going to be able to get the ulti to work out as the immediate follow flash comes through. Cannon Barrage says that there is no way Chiu's going to show up as well. They're investing a lot to kill this Scion, and kill him they will. It's just at what cost? As here in the mid lane, we are going to find out. As Calyx dancing around does manage to take down the minion wave.
Outer.
Yeah.
So actually getting a creative angle for NONGSHIM is really hard.
Oh, Kingin just not able to get any of these barrels. Does eat some oranges in order to get out of the way, but that is going to spell the death of the inner turret. So that lane has become even interesting.
I feel like he really wanted Celestial with how a lot of this is played out.
Oh, the charm just not really going where it wants to as the Chaos Storm gets every flash under the sun. Kingin going to be the first to go down, and that, like you said, is just going to spell the end. Oh, Void Seeker almost killing Ona here, who's still ticking down as there's the paranoia to finish him off. I think it's a one-way trip though, as Gideon trying to get himself out of there. The zap going wide, the knock-up not connecting, and he has the spell shield. Oh my goodness, is he out of there? No, Tongue Lash going to come on through. The zap not quite going to work out, and there's the Fear Tether. He sidesteps the next Tongue Lash, and there is a Mega Cone to get him to safety. I think there was a flash in there from Faker.
Wait, did he get Drake?
Roars. Okay, yeah, maybe they're going to be able to get the Drake as Gideon going to Fear Faker, and now he's continuing his merry jaunt. He now knows that he's dead, but that was, you know, he made that choice. And they take the Drake.
They're going to lose Nash, most likely, because Gideon is dead for 40 seconds. But they got Drake! That was cool!
That was really cool.
As expected, T1 start this up. All the damage dealers are here, though.
Yeah, Cannon Barrage not available just yet. Alex going in, misses the charm, and gets crashed into, or at least Kingin does. He needs to get out of there, but he has no options. Over the wall goes Calyx. Land's going to follow him, but Ona gets over there as well with a Heartbreaker. And now T1 looking for even more. Super Mega Death Rocket just to make sure that they get out of there. And they do so. It is only the Gangplank going down, but he's dead for 40 seconds time. And so that Cannon Barrage that's up in 4 is going to have to wait as well. As Doran's over the wall, but this Baron has been started. Void Seeker going to at least get on in there. And Gideon does have Paranoia. So
flip it.
They might be able to make this a 50-50. Still, it's exceptionally dangerous as the charm is going to come through onto Doran.
One-way ticket.
There's the paranoia, and he needs vision. He needs to be able to click on someone to get in. The triple knock up there from Doran as well. As the Baron is now low. In goes Lahens over the wall. They go. The Baron is still at 1,000 health as Gideon unable to get it because Ona is the king of smites. Calyx able to get himself out, but the fight is well and truly lost. And T1 are going to look to push for the win.
It was Smash!
All right.
How did Smash get it?
Well, maybe because Gideon died. Because they just ignored the Baron. It was really smart stuff there from T1. A swift call to say, we are killing them. We are not going to take down the Baron.
It's the Smash Splash damage, Atlas.
Oh, God.
He got them. Oh, God.
Well, okay. Maybe the game isn't over just yet.
Let's,
yeah.
And now that gold lead has gone to a nigh insurmountable level. Although, it's only mid-inhib. I'm trying to cope at this. Although, it's only mid-inhib, all right? Mid-inhib. And they're not going to lose soul.
True.
Doran has in about
70,000.
Atlas, let me cope.
Okay, got it.
I got nothing.
I think Doran can actually just walk up, tank all 5 of them and the turret, and then T1 kills the turret.
I thought that on Sign, and it was never true. But they didn't have the rest of T1 backing me up there. I feel like it might have helped.
Yeah. Just having a look at how many bits of health bar he has, you know? And they're just guarding this siege minion.
So 30 seconds
to clear out vision where he can. And Doran's doing it. He is making the play. Yeah, where he just walks up, tanks the turret, minions stay alive, and the second inhibitor is going to go down. NONGSHIM, it's up to them to try and start a fight here. And they do have all of their buttons available.
Unless...
All right.
T1 are going to play it slow.
Smash gets tagged.
Because I know this is over.
Yeah, it is. It's done. But let's. We need to now take this moment to try and see whether there are any angles.
They're really spamming those.
They really like load them up. As Lahens just taking a cue for fun.
It's bait. Oh no.
Yeah, well, they do manage to get a charm onto Faker, who just goes golden. Lahens now just going to get knocked up and taken down. sometimes you just have a Zhonya's and you're just feeling fantastic as Ona heartbreaks in. Jiu gonna have to flash as Ona gets over the wall and just flashes on top of him. He goes golden as well though, and it's another charm that's looking pretty good. Death's Daughter rains down onto Ona, but he's able to get himself out of there. And NONGSHIM, they are bleeding. They've lost a Rakan, but they have a few of their tanks, their damage deal is still left alive. But Doran just doesn't take damage. And now Carrier's diving forward. Down goes the gangplank. Carrier will fall, but he's making the sacrifice for his team. And the GA is procced. The Nexus is exposed, and T1 will be able to take down NONGSHIM here in our first series of the